I particularly want you to notice the calf, which Abraham slaughtered and prepared for his guests. The thing about slaughtering a calf as opposed to a fully mature animal is that Abraham was sacrificing its future. He was giving up not only the animal's present value, but the future returns its life promised, including its potential offspring. This economic reality is why veal is so much more expensive than beef. Right? But Abraham was not running the meat market at Market Street. He was just giving it away in order to bless his guests. Now, at this point in the Abraham story, Abraham is an old man already, and though he did not yet have an heir, he was blessed in many ways, particularly material wealth. In our day, we think of material wealth as money, right? But in the time of Abraham, wealth was showed in animals, flocks, and herds. Right? Instead of show me the money, it was show me the goats. Right? He could afford it to do this calf thing, but it was still a sacrifice. It was still costly. And this is the first thing I want you to see about God's promises today. God's promised blessings often come as a response to our sharing the blessings that we already have. Before the mysterious guests tell Abraham that Sarah will bear a son, Abraham sacrifices his own blessings. First, Abraham is a blessing. Then he receives the promise blessing. At a previous church I served, we had these two large African groups in our church. One was from South Sudan and one was from Nigeria. And every year we'd have an annual service on Sunday night. It was called African Night. And we would have African music and African liturgy and African dancing and African food and African preaching. One year, the preacher gave this particular example that really stuck with me. First, because it made me sort of deeply uncomfortable. And then over the years, it stuck with me because I've begun to realize he may have had a point. I think he's right about this. And here's the example he used. He said, imagine God's promised blessings flowing down to you from heaven in a pipe. And this pipe ends, it discharges in the world. And what happens is that God begins to send some blessings down the pipe, and we get them at the bottom, and we hold on to them. Right? We get worried that there aren't going to be any more blessings coming down the pipe, and so we get stingy, and we don't want to share. We're worried our blessings are going to run out. But what we're actually doing, he said, is clogging up the pipe. God has more promises he wants to give us, but more ways he wants to bless us. But we've clogged up the pipe, and he can't get more down the pipe, right? Until we let go of the stuff at the end, until we share it. Now, Abraham didn't have pipes in his day. Right? He's literally living a pre-pipe existence. But I think he understood this principle. You've got to let go in order to have hands free to receive. Abraham was willing to let go of his blessings, like his calves. And the calf was consumed. It was gone. Right? Then comes the promise. So ask yourself, are your hands free to receive God's promises? Or are they busy holding on to what you've already received?